If gold and silver both look good on you, but foundation still never looks quite right, and if makeup has ever looked a little too yellow, a little too pink, or just slightly off, neutral undertones may be the reason. Hi, welcome to Refined Beauty and Confident Presence, where beauty and confidence and femininity come together. In today's video, we're talking all about neutral undertones, what they are and why they can be so confusing, how to recognize them. Undertone can make makeup, color, and beauty choices feel so much easier and more harmonious. What a neutral undertone really means. Let's start with the basics because this is one of the most misunderstood parts of beauty. A neutral undertone means your skin sits somewhere between warm and cool. So your skin does not strongly lean very gold, peachy, or yellow, but it also doesn't strongly lean to very pink, rosy, or blue. It has more balance. And the balance is exactly why neutral undertones can feel difficult to identify. Clearly warm, or it tends to show up more obviously. Warm makeup often looks right, golden jewelry tends to look flattering, and when someone is clearly cool, silver looks more natural. Rosies and blue-based tones tend to look fresher, but neutral undertones live in that in-between space, which it makes it very confusing for us. And because of that, many women spend years feeling like nothing completely fits them. They try warm foundation and it looks too yellow. They try cool foundation and it looks too pink. They look at jewelry and feel like both gold and silver can work. And honestly, that is in between feeling of if it's often one of the clearest signs that you are a neutral undertone. Undertone is not the same as skin tone. I just want to make sure you know this part is so important because a lot of people confuse skin tone with undertone. Your skin tone is how light or deep your skin is. That's whether you're fair, light, medium, tan, or deep. Your undertone is a subtle tone underneath the surface of your skin. That means you can be fair and neutral, medium and neutral, and tan and neutral, or deep and neutral. Neutral undertones is not about how dark or light you are. It's about the direction your color naturally leans to. Neutral undertones are tricky because they do not always present in a dramatic way. A woman with strong, warm undertones often look obviously radiant in warm golden shades. A woman with strong, cool undertones may look especially clear and bright in silver, berries, and mauves, and cool colors. Neutral undertones are more subtle. A lot of women with neutral undertones say things like, I can never tell if I'm warm or cool. Both metals seem fine on me. My skin looks different in every lighting. Foundation is always the hardest thing for me to shop for. I feel like I'm somewhere in the middle. And usually that makes perfect sense. Because neutral colorings can shift depending on the lighting, the season, the outfit color, and even how much warmth or coolness is being reflected around your face. Common signs you may have a neutral undertone. One of the biggest signs is you can wear both gold and silver jewelry can look flattering on you. Usually one may still look a little better, but neither one feels completely wrong. That's because neutral skin often has enough balance to support both. Another major sign is when you have a hard time finding the right match for foundation. And this is one of the reasons so many women with neutral undertones feel confused in beauty. If foundation is too yellow, it can make the face look too warm or dull or slightly unnatural. If it's too pink, it can make your face look too cool and disconnected from your neck. So Neutral undertones often do best with foundations that sit more in the middle, balanced shades, or sometimes neutral olive, depending on the person. Another sign is that your skin may look a little warmer in some lighting and a little cooler in others. And another clue is that very extreme colors, very icy, very orange, very yellow, very blue base, can sometimes feel a little too much, while softer, balanced tones often look more natural and refined. That is really the key word here: balance. Neutral undertones usually look beautiful in colors that feel soft, balanced, and harmonious. That can include shades like rosy nudes, peachy pinks, muted coral, balanced beige, neutral browns, taupe, soft bronze, neutral rose, or pink beige tones. Because your coloring sits more in the middle, you often have more flexibility than someone who is strongly warm or strongly cool. It simply means your best colors usually have some more balanced quality to them. They don't pull too far in one direction, not neither too cool or too warm. When a color becomes too yellow, too orange, too blue, or too icy, it can start to compete with your natural coloring instead of enhancing it. When it comes to makeup, neutral undertones often look most polished in shades that feel natural, balanced, and softly refined. For foundation, think of neutral shades are often the best starting point. This is something I really want to say because the word neutral sometimes gets misunderstood. Neutral does not mean boring. It does not mean plain. And it definitely does not mean your beauty is less interesting. In fact, neutral undertones can be incredibly elegant because they often carry a balanced, subtle quality that makes beauty look so effortless. There is something very polished about a face where the makeup, the coloring, and the overall tone all feels aligned. And when a woman understands her undertone, she usually starts making better choices. Her foundation looks more natural, her blush stops looking disconnected, her lipstick starts looking more flattering. So I always recommend looking at several signs together. Don't decide based only on the Bain test. Don't decide based only on jewelry. And don't decide based only on one foundation shade. Look at the bigger picture. Ask yourself these questions. Do balanced tones flatter me the best? Do both metals, talking about gold and silver, look pretty good on me? Does too warm or too cool often feel too extreme? Does my foundation tend to look off unless it's very balanced? So just to bring it all together, what we have learned today, a neutral undertone means your skin sits in between, warm and cool. It has a balanced quality rather than a strong leaning golden or leaning rosy. Some of the biggest signs are: foundation often looks either too yellow or too pink. Your coloring may seem different depending on the lighting. And balanced shades usually look better than very extreme warm or extreme cool. Once you understand that, beauty becomes so much easier. Thank you for being here with me today, and I'll see you next time. Bye now.